So now we have the read and we have the create ready. But let's now go for the next one, which is the update one. Now that's a bit more tricky to actually do this. And let's have a look at where we can get some help. Again, I'm going back to the NC framework tutorial.net, and under basics here, not the code first part, but under basics, there's actually, as we scroll down here, let me just zoom a bit, there's actually one here called updates, add and delete single entity, and that's where I want to look right now. So I'm jumping into the update single entity here, and again it's the same example like before. We have a student, the student is created, we use the context. Here he starts using something we'll go on with later, where we kind of start specifying a real connection string. But look at this, this is actually where he in disconnected mode goes in and updates a student. Now that is about the disconnected mode means we're pulling out some information, and then here some time passes. We don't know if it's a second or 10 years. Hopefully not 10 years, that's a long time. But at some point we change the name and then we go back to connected mode. So this is like disconnected mode in this area right here. That's when he writes disconnected. That's what it's about, the disconnected scenario. We're going to do the same. We're going to pull data for the website, and then at some point when people say update, we connect again. And this is the code we should need to actually say we want to, in the end, we want to add, save, update our actual entity inside the database. So I'm going to grab that code, paste it in here, and just use it to show you guys how you can use code directly from their site. Let me zoom out again a little bit. So if we look at the code here, let me just give you guys some more room so you can see my code. If we look at the code here, let's start out by not using their context, but actually using our context, which is the one called person app context, like this. And I'll just call this DB again, that's just the name I like. Now, they say we want to find the entry in the database called student. In our case, it's just called T. And we want to set that state for that T, meaning that we want to explain the database, the NT framework, that this student has actually been modified. So think of it as he goes in and finds the person and looks him up using the ID, and then he says, okay, so this guy is modified. Let's just save the modified changes, not the ID, because that should be the same, but the remaining changes. So we save this, save all changes, and then we should be done. That should be all it takes to actually do this, right? And then in the end, we're going to return the person we just changed, like this. That's the choice we made when we made the iManager. So that should be it for the update part of this. So next we'll have a look at how we actually do the delete. See you next time.